Hey guys! Today we have a bit of a shorter episode. I've been working on a lot of plot stuff, so there will be a summary of season 1 coming up, but right now we're gonna take a look at a really fun, I guess, secondary character, Mirta. I'm only gonna give her 2 outfits and I won't be drawing her pumpkin form, but I think it'll still be fun. I have Mirta's story in my season 1 as pretty similar to what she goes through in season 1 of the original show. I'm trying to come up with a bigger role for her in season 3, but we'll see. She grew up with Lucy in a smaller kingdom north of Solaria, though close to the border, and Mirta always wanted to visit the capital of Solaria and maybe even move there one day. She definitely is a girl that can appreciate the big city, especially after growing up in a small town. She met Lucy in high school. They used to be part of a group of 5, but the foundation of that group was shaken when, right at the start of senior year, one of their friends moved away and the other 2 got fairy wings at almost the same time. They bonded a lot over their new powers and sparkling wings and eventually drifted away from Lucy and Mirta. But they ended up with a bond of their own. The 2 of them began to dress and act in a more alternative way, shrugging off the cultural love of fairies and developing the mindset that it's the 2 of them against the world. When the story starts, they're both 18 years old and freshmen at Cloud Tower. They've moved far from home and are excited to start their training and hone their magic, and the 2 were lucky enough to have the chance to arrange it so that they could be roommates, making life basically one big sleepover. Mirta couldn't be happier. Starting at a cool new university and living with her best friend, that's amazing. There was only one problem. Mirta was keeping a secret from her best friend. She's got a pair of wings of her own. Her constant suppressing of her wings meant that she had not been able to connect to her fairy magic. She'd never learned to wield it properly, to transform, or even what her wings connected to for their source. She tried her very best to connect to the world the way a witch does. However, this suppression of her fairy magic made it incredibly difficult for her to use any magic at all. There's a webtoon I love called Suitor Armor, and the main character is a fairy who's forced to bind her wings to fit into human society. As a result of this, her wings are very weak, and she can't even use them to fly due to a lifetime of suppression. I highly recommend the comic, it's so good, seriously, but basically I think Mirta would have similar symptoms of suppressing her wings as well. I wanted her design to be very cute, so I gave her big eyes and a button nose and freckles. Basically, she's got a baby face. I also made her quite petite, since I plan on making Lucy very tall, and I think the height difference is cute for them and their dynamic. I wanted to change her haircut to be a little more modern, alternative girl, and basically ended up giving her the good old Ramona flowers. But I really like it for her. I knew I definitely wanted to give her like baby bangs and an undercut. So I think this is good. And of course, she has to have her iconic little hair wrap that is just so early 2000s. Though I did change the color to fit her palette more. I was worried at first it wouldn't even match the haircut, but I think it's okay. Now at Cloud Tower, her teachers encouraged her to try to draw magical energy from all sorts of different things, but her spells always end up the weakest in her classes, a large amount of them failing entirely. Mirta was not doing great in school. But if she was being honest, that wasn't entirely because of her struggle with spells. Among witches, there is a camaraderie, based around the way they tend to be treated by those outside of their branch of magic. Most of society sees them as the dark parallel to fairies, and as such they must all be hiding a desire for violence and evil. After all, the women who created their magic system ended up committing a crime of celestial significance, alongside all the death and destruction wrought by their heir. Among the witch students at Cloud Tower, though, this cultural inside joke was interpreted by the teens as a license to act like total assholes. When Lucy starts working her way towards the Trix's good side, even hoping to be part of their group one day, Mirta gets fed up. The Tricks to her are the culmination of everything she hates about Cloud Tower, and now, even after they've already burned her once, she has to watch her best friend kissing up to them. She knows they must be up to no good, and just like in the show, sets up a spell that's meant to spy on them and see what they have planned. She had been desperate enough to use magic, even though she honestly didn't expect it to work. But in her moment of emotional turmoil, crying in the rain, begging for something that she can use to get her only friend back, she is able to set up what she needs for a scrying spell. To her surprise, the spell actually works. It creates a projection of those she wishes to see, an illusion. And this whole time, she's been the fairy of illusions, even if she didn't know it. So the magic from her wings is able to boost her witch magic, enough that the spell works beautifully. After this, Mirta decides to take the information she's gathered to Faragonda. And finally, it's confirmed to the Winx that the tricks are indeed working for Lord Darkar. She stays at Alfea for a while after delivering the news. Faragonda insists she must remain for her safety, but Mirta confesses that she actually also has fairy wings and would like to learn to control her magic to help in the fight that is clearly on the horizon. That's why I'm not even going to give her a witch outfit, to be honest. Yes, she does think she wants to be a witch at first, but ultimately, she realizes she just thought that's what she needs to want. Accepting being a fairy isn't her giving up on her individuality, but rather understanding who she is on a deeper level. She isn't forced to be girlier or change the way she dresses like she thought, but instead learns that she's capable of so much more when she accepts who she is. And she wants to embrace it and learn to use her magic. She wants to be able to protect herself and Lucy. When Faragonda passes the information along to Griffin, she decides to keep the tricks at Cloud Tower so that they can be monitored, but not before they've already set out to find Mirta. After being turned into a pumpkin, she is quickly scooped up by Flora, who becomes her guardian in this time. Or her Gordian. She's the only one who can understand her now, and keeps her in her room as she runs experiments. Flora's video was so freaking long ago, but I'm pretty sure I mentioned that I wanted Flora to have a serious science side, and this kind of ties into that. The video that you're seeing play is my third attempt at doing her civilian outfit, since OBS failed during the process of drawing the other two designs, which are fully done since I didn't notice until I went to stop the recording. I think this one captures the vibe I wanted for her outfit the best though, something that would be worn by a teenager going to hang out at the mall in 2007 and hit up Hot Topic in the food court and stuff, but still cute. In the other designs, I had the pumpkin on her shirt, but I like it a lot as a charm on the zipper of her hoodie. I feel like that, I don't know, I think it's cute. Anyways, Mirta unfortunately is stuck as a pumpkin for quite a while, but it's not all bad. She and Flora get pretty close in this time. There's no Helia in this season, but all the other girls have specialists to go get hung up on. So Mirta and Flora have plenty of time to spend alone together, just talking and bonding. Mirta talks about her insecurity about her wings and how she's hidden them from Lucy out of fear of being abandoned, but how she ended up alone anyways. But of course, Flora tells her she isn't alone, and she's sure Lucy would understand if they talked it out. How could she stay mad at such a sweet, wonderful person? And somehow the pumpkin seems to blush. Yeah, there's a mutual crush situation going on between the two of them. After Mirta gets turned back from being a pumpkin, she keeps staying at Alfea for a while, and her and Flora can often be seen hanging out. Flora helps her learn how to transform into her fairy form, and Mirta teaches her about the ritual she knows from Cloud Tower, which Flora finds fascinating. I mentioned earlier that I want Mirta to come back to the forefront and have a bigger role in Season 3, and I think it would mostly have to do with her having a similar power set to Darcy, and being incredibly helpful when it comes to reconnaissance. She is an incredibly effective spy once she gets better control of her powers. While she stays at Alfea, she would also start to develop a sisterly relationship with Tecna. Tecna is Faragonda's fairy apprentice, but Faragonda would also personally take Mirta under her wing like she did for Bloom at first. This way, she can hopefully keep her from getting turned back into a squash and help her catch up on what she missed while she was one. I so badly wanted Mirta's fairy form to be pink and orange, for reasons that should be obvious, I think, but finding the right layout for the shades of the colors took me forever, and honestly, this was just a difficult design for me to feel satisfied with for some reason. Maybe because the initial design is just so off. I don't know, it's completely devoid of her alternative style, and the colors are so ugly to me. I think they gave her blue as a way to try to match the hair wrap, but I just don't think it works. They also give her sparkling glove things that look like the Enchantix form. I don't know. I did give her like this sheer shirt under her top to kind of reference them, but I also thought it would be a way to bring the idea of illusions into her magic Winx form, since it's there but you can see through it. Also, what are those wings? They are enormous and completely different from any other magic Winx wings in the show. Since my rewrite has all the fairies from the same world, I want their wings to be the same general kind of wing based off of insect wings. So Mirta's had to change. They're smaller, and I changed the shape entirely for reasons I'll bring up in the next video. Mirta was a great opportunity to play with what would happen if there was a fairy that wanted to be a witch. Though I don't think this is what would happen in every instance of a situation like that. It's what happened in this one, and it was fun to think about. I think she looks so cute, and I hope you guys enjoyed the kind of shorter video this time. Though I guess it didn't end up being actually that short. But yeah, next video will probably be the same. So like and sub and comment, and I'll see you guys then. Bye!